Hey kids, it's finally the last video of the year. For today's video, we're doing 100 different fun facts. I will not be saying the numbers because you can count. From 1945 to the mid-2000s, steel from pre-World War II shipwrecks was sought after because it wasn't exposed to radiation from nuclear weapons testing. Israel has won every war fought against the Arab nations despite being outnumbered every time, and controlled the Egyptian Sinai Peninsula from 1967 to 1973. Israel offers a free vacation to all non-Israeli Jews called the Mission of Birthright. Damascus, Syria, is the oldest continually inhabited city in the world. The Cleveland Spiders had the worst season in MLB history in 1899, with a 20-win to 134-loss record. The earliest fire known to archaeologists happened approximately 420 million years ago. Sharks are older than the rings of Saturn by about 300 million years. Hinduism is the oldest religion in the world, being about 4,000 years old. Singapore was ejected from Malaysia in 1965 due to political divisions and race riots. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth elected their kings. The Polish army had a Syrian brown bear named Wojtek in the 22nd Transport Division Artillery Company. Pizza was most likely invented by an Italian sailor in Naples. Venice, Italy sinks about 2 millimeters each year and floods about 100 times per year. Ships first started using diesel around the year 1910. Both the gas-driven car and the jet engine were invented in Germany. The first police car was used in 1899 in Akron, Ohio. It was an electric car. The Soviet Union made the world's first paratrooper corps, the VDV, in the mid-1930s, and it's still active today, although it usually acts as elite mechanized infantry. The Green Bay Packers beat the Kansas City Chiefs 35-10 in the first Super Bowl. Gunpowder was invented in the 9th century CE by Chinese monks. The first recorded use of a firearm was in 1364. Tulips almost crashed the Dutch economy in 1637. There used to be a country called Burgundy in northern France. The country of Bhutan is carbon negative. Bhutan's nickname is the Land of the Thunder Dragon. The first transatlantic flight happened on May 21st, 1927. The first trans-Pacific flight happened on November 22, 1935. The longest ever flight was flown by a Cessna 172. It lasted for 64 days, 22 hours, and 19 minutes. Mauritania was the last nation to ban slavery, only doing so in 1981. The Akkadian Empire in Mesopotamia was credited with having the first professional army. While the Mongol Empire was the largest contiguous land empire, the British Empire was the largest empire total by 4.44 million square miles. Night vision was invented in Germany and was used in the German army as early as 1939. The first drone was invented in 1935 by the British. The first commercial airline was Dalog, a German company founded on November 16, 1909. A plan to launch nuclear weapons into the eye of a hurricane to stunt its growth was conceptualized in the 1950s by meteorologist Jack W. Reed. The youngest country in the world is South Sudan, only being established in 2011. The poorest country in the world is Burundi, with a GDP per capita of $239. The city-state of San Marino is the oldest republic in the world, being founded on September 3rd, 301 AD. The first social media is 6 Degrees. It was founded by Andrew Weinreich in May 1996. Lydia Litviak, also known as the White Rose of Stalingrad, was the first of 2 women to achieve the title of fighter ace. The Battle of Verdun in the First World War was the longest battle in modern history, lasting 303 days and costing 750,000 casualties. The bloodiest battle in history is the Battle of Stalingrad, costing about 1,971,000 lives over the course of 202 days. Hitler referred to Nazi Germany as the Thousand-Year Reich. Nazi Germany only lasted 12 years. The Western Roman Empire collapsed on September 4th, 476 AD, while the Eastern Roman Empire, which was the Byzantine Empire, fell on May 29th, 1453. The first rocket used in war was used in the year 1807. The rocket weighed 32 pounds and could travel 2,000 yards in 29 seconds. The first boats date back to the Neolithic Stone Age, about 8,000 years ago. Israel once attacked an American ship named the USS Liberty while jamming its communications. The ship barely survived because the Israelis got spooked when the Liberty was able to send a signal to an American aircraft carrier. Israel apologized for the attack and said it misidentified the Liberty, even though it was flying an American flag. A college student once got enough Pepsi points to earn a Harrier fighter jet. According to an ad, you needed 7 million points to get one. A college student got that many, cashed them in, but never got their Harrier. The Soviet icebreaker ship Lenin was the first ship in the world to be powered by a nuclear reactor. The first planet discovered outside our solar system was discovered in 1993, orbiting a type of neutron star called a pulsar. The pulsar's name is PSR B1257 plus 12. A teaspoon full of the second densest object in the universe, a neutron star, weighs more than 4 billion tons. The smallest country in the world, both by population and by size, is the Vatican City. Despite being 115 times smaller than Russia, Bangladesh has a larger population than Russia. Bangladesh is the most polluted country on Earth. The first air-to-air missile was the AAM-A1 Firebird. It was radar-guided, subsonic, and it was rendered obsolete by the AIM-4 Falcon before it could begin full-rate production. The White Horse Tavern is the oldest restaurant in America, having served customers since 1673. Radar was first demonstrated on June 17, 1935. The longest song on Spotify is The Rise and Fall of Bossa Nova, lasting 13 hours, 23 minutes, and 32 seconds. The first message to be sent over the internet was LO, spelled L-O, although the message was originally intended to be login. Taxes were invented around 3000 BC in ancient Egypt. The Akkadian Empire was the first empire in human history. Portugal was the first country to make an overseas colony. The first Chinese dynasty was the Jia dynasty, lasting from 2070 BC to 1600 BC. The first animal on Earth was a comb jelly. The oldest book we know of is the Epic of Gilgamesh. The Chinese Ming dynasty was the first country to use field artillery. The first human to fly was 9th century engineer Abbas ibn Firnas. Kubaba was the queen of Sumer and was the first female ruler in history. The Namib Desert is the oldest desert in the world. The Daintree Rainforest is the oldest forest in the world at about 180 million years old.
The 9 Wright military flyer was used as a recon aircraft by the U.S. Army. The first pet kept by humans was a dog. Wheat was the first crop to be cultivated by humans. It was first grown in 8000 BC. Beer was invented by ancient Sumerians around 4000 BC. The first ice cream mixture was a combination of honey and nectar. The mathematician and engineer Archimedes made the first clock in the 3rd century BC. The most poisonous plant in the world is the castor oil plant. The box jellyfish is the most venomous animal in the world. There are 1,169,261,187 websites. The Ottoman Empire was founded in 1299 and collapsed in 1918.
The longest word is a 45-letter word, which is the technical term for silicosis. The English language was invented in the 5th century. The first Super Bowl, which took place on January 15, 1967, was between the Packers and the Chiefs. Lake Baikal in Russia is the world's deepest lake. I See for Miles by The Who is the first heavy metal song. The oldest piece of jewelry that we know of is a fishbone necklace found in Monaco. The oldest known musical composition is called Seculos Epita. The first song recorded is Au Clair de Lune. The first war photos were made during the Mexican-American War in 1847.
Okay, so hi, I'll be reading facts 90 through 100, and starting off with number 90, Amazon first started off by selling books. 91, Dr. Pepper is the first ever soft drink. 92, the oldest company in the world is the Japanese construction company Kongo Gumi. It started operations in 578 CE, making it 1,443 years old. 93, only 7% of South Sudan's population has electricity. 94, electric cars have been around since 1834, making that 42 years before the gasoline-driven car. 95, makeup was first used around 4000 BCE in ancient Egypt. 96, Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone than to the construction of the Great Pyramids. Number 97, the U.S. military aid to Israel makes up about 20% of its military budget. 98, the first computer was built between 1943 and 1946 and weighed 50 tons. 99, gasoline was invented in 1859 by Edwin Drake. And finally, number 100, chess was invented in India around the 8th century and was banned in Russia in 1551.
Well, guys, that was the last video. Hopefully you at least learn one thing from all of them. Remember, this summer it'll get hot. You gotta drink your water, stay hydrated, and I wish you all good luck in high school.